Got a great spotlight coming at you today, but first I want to throw one thing at you. Jump over to my new website, waltzkitchentable.com, and get all the details on how you can win an awesome bundle of CBD products I'm giving away. It's got some tinctures, got some rub with arnica in them, and a bunch of swag. $200 value. Check it out, waltzkitchentable.com. Now, on to the show. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Artem is a real good buddy of mine, and he has penned his first book, a children's book, which was inspired by his badass grandma. In today's spotlight, you will get an idea how badass she really was. It's we're getting into the season, family, and giving. And this is what this book is about, what you're going to find out. And in the link, the show notes, I'll have where you can get this book. You want to give that for a gift because all the proceeds go to Shriners Children's Hospital in honor of his grandmother's lifelong passion of being a pediatrician. And I'll give you more of those details and others after this clip. Let's get to it. So, 96, where'd she live?
What's that?
Where did she live?
New
Here
Jersey.
in Jersey?
Yeah. So,
always?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, no. I mean, she was born and raised in the Soviet Union. She worked there.
I didn't know that. No, your grandmother. Okay.
My grandmother, yeah. And then she came here, right?
How old was, do you know how old she was when she came here?
I'm going to say she was in her early 70s, late 60s.
Holy shit, man. So she was born?
She was born there. She was a doctor. She was a pediatrician. Right?
Oh.
She was a pediatrician.
In the Soviet Union.
In the Soviet Union. And it never really clicked for me until I was telling someone the story and they kind of were taken aback. She was the head of her clinic. She was a pediatrician, head of her clinic in the 60s and 70s. And they're like, wait, she was a female doctor? That was the head of the clinic in the 60s and 70s?
That's awesome.
And
in Russia.
And in Russia. Right. And it just, sometimes, like the amazing people around you, you don't really...
Dude, I'm telling you,
understand how amazing they are until somebody puts it into perspective. And you're like, oh, that's just what I know. Like, this is just grandma. She's just awesome.
Yeah, that's just my grandmother. I see her. She makes chocolate chip cookies.
Exactly. Yeah. So to me,
everybody's extraordinary, dude.
Everybody. They are. Yeah,
everybody.
They are. And for me, it was just. And the thing is, like, I'm fully aware that people have different relationships with their grandparents, right? And some people have varying qualities of grandparents or parents or whatever it is, right? But to your point, everyone is extraordinary in one way or another.
Absolutely.
Not everyone discovers it, and that's the sad part.
Can't agree with you more.
But going back to grandma, she was essentially...
She knew she was a fucking OG too, huh?
I would hope so. I hope she knew.
No, what makes her an OG, she didn't think she was an OG.
Yeah, no, very humble. Right? Very humble.
That
very
makes
humble.
her... Yeah.
But, I mean, she...
I
don't think you go through medical school... like half
in the Soviet Union in the 60s.
Right.
I mean, no, we got to put, I think we
context around it.
I think we got to put more context around that.
Right.
We're blowing by that really fast.
Right.
In the 60s in the United States.
Yeah. It was tough enough.
Fucking tough.
Right.
In the 60s in the Soviet fucking, dude.
Right.
What a great.
She had a lot. Yeah. She had a lot,
Raising kids, probably. How many?
Yeah.
How many?
3 kids.
Okay.
3
What'd
kids.
the old man do?
He was a math teacher. Wow. Well, funny story about a side note on that. He would make his own wine. He was a winemaker, right?
And taught math during the week?
No, he was a winemaker that made money doing. He was an entrepreneur. In the Soviet Union, that is not...
not
taken well.
Yeah.
So they basically, the government or whatever, essentially went to him and said, you can't make your own money. That's not how things work here.
No shit.
And then my grandma was like, you're going to end up in jail, so let's switch this up. Go teach math or something.
Are you fucking...
So he's like, I like math. I'm going to go. Then obviously he went through the process.
So he was a bootlegger and then...
I wouldn't call it that, but yeah, I mean, essentially that's how the government, I guess, looked at him.
Right. Yeah. The way they look at him, he was a bootlegger.
He was, I guess, in their eyes, sure.
Wow. Yeah. And the whole time his wife was going to school.
No,
or she was
no,
at the clinic at that
She at the
point?
clinic, yeah. She went through school and she got her job and everything. They met.
Well,
later
he was
on.
bootlegging.
Yeah, I guess I know they met later on after she was already a doctor.
Oh, that's when they met. Okay.
She was. I don't think I ever got like the specifics of this, just because I never understood it. Because obviously with the Second World War, there were they didn't. I think the war never really made its way towards that part of the Soviet Union where she was.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean,
That's
like
interesting.
obviously the war, like
Well,
people,
sure.
they were involved.
It's called
but
the World War for
it
a
is
reason.
right. I mean, like it wasn't the war zone or the war efforts weren't in that area where she was, but everybody was sort of on edge, knowing that like you might have to go at any point.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was a nurse at that time, right? She was so she was, I guess, not a nurse, but she was studying to be. I guess that's a resident. That's the equivalency of a resident.
Of course, yeah,
medical
I can see
resident
that.
student.
Sure, of course.
So she helped in that effort. And then she would go, she was, she's pretty badass, right? So she did a lot of cool stuff. And then eventually became a pediatrician. And then, her husband was making wine until he realized that's, entrepreneurship is frowned upon in
in a communist country.
in a pseudo-communist country.
Yeah.
In a dictatorship, if you will.
Yep.
And they basically,
Wow. So-
and then he switched it up and he was an amazing math teacher.
So what brought him to the United States?
So a couple of things. My aunt always kind of had her eye on the U.S. and was like, things are better there, right?
Sure.
And
There's a woman that's kicking ass.
right, exactly. Oh, there's the lineage, right?
Yeah.
Grandma started the whole thing. My aunt doesn't take it, and my mom's like, they're pretty badass, right? They don't take stuff from nobody.
She told you, badass. And how about his bootlegging grandfather? That's what I called him. More details about both his grandparents, family, and his book in episode 32. Check it out. And in the show notes is all the details you need to know to purchase his book. It's the time of year, you want to spend quality time with the family and give it as a gift. That's awesome. And speaking of giving as a gift, all the proceeds go to Shriners Children's Hospital. So you're helping out in multiple ways. Also in the show notes is the link to my website. Jump on that, waltzkitchentable.com. Has the details to enter and to win a $200 bundle of CBD products that I'm giving away. Just go up there, check it out. It tells you everything you need to know. Till next time, much love.